Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to our press conference this afternoon. This afternoon's agenda will begin with a presentation by our chairman, Mr. Neil Blyden. And then we'll have a short presentation by Helen and Deborah Jackson, the owners of Circle of Sisters. We'll have a short presentation via phone from Mr. Frederick Morton, the CEO of Tempo. And then we'll have a discussion of our media exposure so far for the year and questions and answers from yourselves. Thank you again for coming. We're very excited about the next 6 months of marketing and developing BVI tourism. And with no further ado, we'll go ahead. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. I thank you all for coming. I know today is a very busy day in the BVI. I know it's very, sometimes when you're looking for news, it's you're fighting it, and today is everywhere. But I did promise at our last press conference that we were going to come back and report where we were and what was the last phase for 2011. As we pointed out, the BVI Tourist Board started a 6-month marketing campaign to bring back the name, and we have used the slogan brand BVI. BVI brand is synonymous with paradise, and people look at the British Virgin Islands from all around the world as a brand by itself. They don't compare it with anywhere else, and so we shouldn't either. Before I talk about where we are and what things are about to happen, I do want to say that unfortunately this week, one of our premier properties, Necker Island, experienced a very horrific fire. But we're making it very clear that the government of the British Virgin Islands and the Tourist Board are there 100% behind Mr. Branson and his company to bring such a world-known property as Necker Island back bigger and better. We know that everything there was unique, one of a kind, but you know, I'm sure Mr. Branson, being the kind of person he is, he has some other phenomenal ideas to bring back the hotel, and knowing that it's booked out for years in advance, I see no reason for them not to continue. The Premier has made that clear, we've made that clear, and we're there 100% for them. We want to say to you that the British Virgin Islands tourism, even when the Tourist Board did not have sufficient funds in the last 2 years to really market and was going through economic hardships as everyone, the BVI basically maintained. In Europe, in America, some downturn, 2, 3, 4%, where most people were going down 15%, sometimes more. It did not happen here because this is a unique destination, and that's why we have come to the point of brand BVI. I just had a meeting this week with a gentleman that's a consultant out of Florida who works with one of the major hotel chains. One of them is owned here. And he said, you know, he realizes that all their hotels and all the islands, they can sell one way. But in the BVI, they have to sell it different, and they're going to buy into the brand BVI concept. So I want to say that right now we have been looking at a lot of our properties, and overall the BVI, especially the last 3 months, has been doing well. Especially the higher-end properties are higher than last year. We have some that have some difficulties, but they're making renovations and so forth. But what is really has come out is that our dive and marine sector is doing phenomenally well. You know, the diving sector has really been strong. The sailing sector over 2010, and they already know 2012 is going to surpass that, and that's really wonderful. And what we're, the tourist board, is charged to do is to build and manifest this brand. We have gone out and we have started to do advertising again. We've started to do events. And the one thing that I pointed out, that the world has changed and people now interact in a different way. They interact at major events. They go through the internet and they get onto different search engines and they Facebook and all these different things. And we at the Tourist Board for the first 6 months told all of our agencies and everyone that's working with us, show us what you can do. And as we showed you before, we've been doing well in Europe and we've been doing well bringing back the name. And now for the next 3 months, it's time to make a bang. Since December 29th, 2010, when I knew I was going to become chairman of the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board, I sat down and said, if I'm going to do this, we're going to come out in a way that is going to be unprecedented. And ladies and gentlemen, today, I am going to announce 3 events that no one in the world has been able to do or be on par with. I'm very, very proud today to have an old friend of the BVI and my family and a legend. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting in front of us is Mr. Hal Jackson. Hal Jackson is the premier broadcaster for, what, 70 years? 72. 72 years in the broadcast business. He's in the Broadcast Hall of Fame, CEO of Inner City Broadcasting. And his companies own very, very top radio stations, top events. And they have one particular event called Circle of Sisters. This event takes place in New York City. And it started to give awareness to the Afro-American community and to women particularly. And it has grown. The Javits Center, that is the convention center in New York City, it is one of the biggest in the world. And they put 35,000 people in there in a 2-day period. And I looked at what we were doing as the tourist board and said, you know, first of all, you have to look at what is your market. And in the U.S., the New York tri-state market, being New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, that area, has always been #1 market for the BVI. So we need to get back at that market, and how could we get back strong in that market? And in looking at all the things, I saw Circle of Sisters. I said, okay. And we started talking, and we started negotiating, and I have to say that Mr. Jackson's been here many times. He brought his talented team here a couple of years ago. I've worked for him in the States at the Apollo, and his help and influence with the company has brought us to a point where the British Virgin Islands is the title sponsor of Circle of Sisters. Circle of Sisters is the weekend of October 8th and 9th. 8th and 9th. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to let Ms. Debbie Jackson, who is on the board of Inner City Broadcasting and was very influential in convincing people at this of WBLS and WLIB. WBLS is one of the biggest radio stations in New York City. Over 2.5 million listeners a day. LIB is #1 gospel station in the world. And that's another 1 million listeners a day. And we are now part of them. So I will let her talk a little about it and then tell you what we're going to do and tell you how it's going to affect the BVI. This is Ms. Debbie Jackson.
Good afternoon, everyone. So proud to be here. So proud that the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board is the title sponsor of Circle of Sisters. Circle of Sisters has been in existence now for 7 years, and this is going to be the biggest. The Jacob Javits Convention Center has 80,000 square feet, 80,000 square feet of space, and there's going to be a minimum of 200 vendors that's going to be there, and during the 2-day period, there's going to be between 30 and 35,000 people who are going to come into that convention center. We're going to have a food court, we're going to have a children's court, there's going to be a lot of things that'll be going on, and as of, oh boy, about a month ago, when the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board came on as a title sponsor, they started saying, British Virgin Islands Tourist Board presents. The British Virgin Islands Tourist Board presents.
The British Virgin Islands presents the Circle of Sisters Expo with 107.5 WBLS.
If you're a business owner and you're ready to take it to the next level, the Circle of Sisters Expo with 107.5 WBLS is where you need to be.
Build, brand, and expand your product or service with direct access to over 35,000 active consumers. Where else are you going to find that? Only with BLS. Make this your year. It all takes place October 8th and 9th, Columbus Day weekend at the Jacob Javits Convention Center. Plus, this year will be our biggest year ever. We're moving, changing, and growing.
Build, brand, and expand your product or service at the Circle of Sisters Expo.
So you can see that those folks that listen to WBLS, and like Neil said, we have over 2 million listeners, are hearing a day, are hearing that the British Virgin Islands presents the Circle of Sisters, and it's going to be huge.
And in addition, their major, turn that up a little bit, their major concert acts going to be there.
Music Soul Child.
Yeah, Music Soul Child. Last year you had Jennifer Hudson. And of course, WBLS is the home of the Steve Harvey Morning Show, the #1 radio show in America. Steve Harvey is your employee.
Yes, he is.
And it is just an exciting time. And people come from as far as Washington, D.C., drive for the weekend, and we had to become part of this. Now, you're going to ask, well, how are we going to capitalize besides hearing the name all throughout the United States? Well, the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board is going to be using a new technology called KeyShot. It is a hologram booth that when you step in, the hologram is going to be of the baths, and a picture will be taken of you on you and your family, and it will be emailed to you. It will be Facebooked to you. It will be Twittered to you. It will be sent to whoever you like, and we get all that information. And this is a way of us now bringing new customers back. Now, it also will go to your phone. So you can send the picture of you in the baths. And when the picture comes out, it looks like you're actually in the Caribbean.
On the beach.
On the beach. Or, right, well, it's the grotto, the baths we're using. So it's like you're coming out. It has never been done by any Caribbean island or too many destinations. It is high technology, and it is going to give us a new database that is unprecedented. And this database, we can now go to work directly with all these people. It has never been done before. It's going to be 35,000 or more right in your hand, right in that market. And then, of course, when you go to work, you got to show your picture. You got to put it up on your screen. So it's good. The spread, we don't know how big. But we know that this is where we need to go. We may be small in location, but once you know about the BVI, you're going to want to come. And the aim right now is to take the name brand BVI and take it as far as we can go, so people go, oh, the BVI? Yeah, I know the BVI. I have a picture of the BVI. Oh, I've seen BVI at Circle of Sisters. This is the aim, to take the BVI. And I want to make it clear that these promotions that we are working on are all cooperative. They're not just us spending money. This is costing us the same or less of one page of New York Times. Why? Because Circle of Sisters also wants to be associated with a different brand. And I mean, they have their McDonald's and all those big sponsors. But the British Virgin Islands gives them a different look. And that is what we've been searching for. So ladies and gentlemen, you know, we want to say to you that this collaboration with Circle of Sisters is unique, it's big, it's going to be all over the place. It'll also even be on New York television, PIX, right? Yes, it'll be on New York television. And the name British Virgin Islands will be all through. And one of the other things is that we're going to have a giveaway contest that one of the key shop people will win a trip to the British Virgin Islands. And once we got that sorted out, we said, you know, we have to do something else with it. And in my conversation in June with Frederick Morton, many know who Frederick Morton is? Frederick Morton is the chairman and owner of Tempo. Tempo Television, which is known in the Caribbean, as of September 1st, will be distributed by Cablevision in the United States. Tempo is now going to the New York metropolitan area. 3.66 million subscribers will now be seeing Tempo. Tempo is now adding and changing its programming, and it is going to now be appealing to a wide mass audience. So with that, and having discussions with Mr. Morton, Tempo is going in a collaborative event with the BVI Tourist Board, that Tempo will be doing a reality television 8-week series with the winners from the Circle of Sisters. So in January, not just here in the Caribbean, but to over 20 million viewers in the in the New York tri-state area, they will see a reality program showing the visit of Mr. Frederick, of the winners to the British Virgin Islands, which is another, I don't even know how many million people, but it's the name BVI coming up again. It is from August till January, February, the name British Virgin Islands will be resounding in the East Coast. And right now, I'm not sure what has happened, but Mr. Morton is so excited about this. For those of you who know how Tempo began, to the point that now they're going to be in the United States. And I know that of today, I believe Dish Network also wants to put them on. And the BVI is going to be the lead country, the first country, to be part of their programming in the United States, which takes us to the market that we're looking for. And I'm not sure, we may just have to go on, but he wanted to come on by telephone and express what the relationship with Tempo means to him. But we had some problems with the phone line, and we're trying to see if we can do it another way. Is it there? Frederick Morton, are you there? I am fine. Wait, I don't know what's going on. We're here at a press conference, and maybe you can say something to all of the folks that are here.
Absolutely, I'd be honored, really, and privileged to do so. We were just having a little technical difficulty with the telephone. Hoping everybody can hear me. But to yourself, Chairman Biden, I'm not sure if the Honorable Premier Ralph T. O'Neill is in the room, but to him as well as members of the media. It is a privilege to have the opportunity to speak to you today about what I believe is going to be an extraordinary collaboration with my organization, Temple, and the beautiful British Virgin Islands that represents the Caribbean in such an extraordinary way. We've had the privilege, the channel of participating in a number of, I think, innovative initiatives over the years. And I think we've arrived at a place where we are going over the top, so to speak. With such visionary leadership as the chairman has been able to generate, I believe the British Virgin Islands stands as a beacon of light in the Caribbean for all of its innovative approaches to attracting tourism to the region, which, as you know, is our lifeblood. And my property, Temple, is, of course, steadfast behind all of the ministries in the region, and particularly now the British Virgin Islands, with regards to uplifting our region and making sure that it is always remains and that it always remains the attraction that it has been. I've always seen the region as Earth's last Eden, the Garden of Eden. It is one of the most beautiful places on earth. It has some of the most beautiful people. It has a beautiful vibe, and Temple has been there to represent it over the last 6 years. So as we now approach this new collaboration with the British Virgin Islands, in what I believe is going to be an extraordinary collaboration around one of our great properties, the Winter Temple trip, where we're going to be developing a production around the lucky winners of a trip to the BVI. I wish I could have been that lucky winner. We're going to create 10 episodes of a reality series regarding their trip to the British Virgin Islands and all the wonderful experiences that they're going to have while there. And I think that what that does, it shows that there are really people in leadership positions there in the British Virgin Islands, Chairman Blyden, etc., that are looking at unique ways to showcase the region. And I am very, very fortunate to be a part of that and to do so in a way that I think brings us into this new century. It's not just about the sand, the sun, and the beach. We have so much more to offer. And I have spoken to Chairman Blyden on a number of occasions with regards to all the things that we have to offer in the Caribbean, and in particular the British Virgin Islands. And we are both of the same mindset that we have to be innovative, we have to think with the future in mind, and we have to come up with concepts that are going to really, really make the region number one as a destination. We are launching in the United States shortly. I'm happy to announce the channel has signed a major deal with a major cable operator here in the United States, and we are continuing to discuss with several other operators, and we're going to be launching here in the United States shortly. And that gives us an opportunity that is even grander than we've had before. And again, to market in one of the greatest source markets for the region, which is the United States. And of course, Chairman Blyden is right there, seizing the opportunity, making sure, in fact, it's nothing like being number one. And the BVI, under his leadership, under the leadership of Premier O'Neill, has always been number one. And so as we're launching here in the United States, I'm proud to announce and to be able to let you know that, again, the British Virgin Islands is number one as one of our launch partners here. I think every other destination is going to be looking and wanting. And so as you discuss tourism today and as you make your announcements, Chairman Blyden, I want to congratulate you and your wonderful staff and your wonderful team and the entire government of the British Virgin Islands for being such visionary leaders and representing the Caribbean in general in such a wonderful way and bringing such a wonderful property to the world. So once again, thank you, Mr. Blyden, for the opportunity to speak. I am here for the British Virgin Islands always. You know how I feel about the Caribbean, and next time you gotta get me down there so that I can see everyone in person.
Well, that will happen very soon. Thank you, Mr. Morton. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish it was how I wanted it with the, direct wire in and everything, but it still worked out, and I hope everyone was able to understand that. This is a major feat for Mr. Morton. Anyone to get on a cable network in the United States is major, but to already been established in the Caribbean and now in America, once I found out that was going to happen, I said we have to be there first, because when you're there first, you get the best deal, you get people who want to be with you. And when he told the people at Cablevision they were working with the BVI, they're like, oh, we go there, we've been there, we've heard of it. So it's going to be a very good relationship. And to have a reality series that they're going to come and live in the BVI for, I don't know how long they'll shoot it, but it will be shown over a 10-week period. It is unprecedented. It is unprecedented. And I want to say to you all that, it has really been a labor of love. And before I go any further, the staff at the BVI Tourist Board is bar none. Maybe small, but very strong. We are doing so many things very quickly. And for those that put a bad light or not sure what they're saying about tourism, they need to see what's happening. And we are now at the cutting edge. We're not waiting for the 5-year plan. It's here, and it's moving on real fast. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, I am itching. I am very itching, because I did promise you something big. And if you think Circle of Sisters and Tempo is big, ladies and gentlemen, we want to let you know that in the month of November, for the rating sweeps, the British Virgin Islands has been selected to be the location for the #1 daytime show, the Wendy Williams Show. Wendy Williams, with over 50 million viewers, will be highlighting the BVI for 6 weeks. We are going to do a watch and win promotion. This negotiation started last January, and I thank everyone that's worked hard. Ms. Ward and Lynette Harrigan, we met with them. Lynette knew more about Wendy than we did, so they loved it, Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not sure, if you don't know who Wendy Williams is, she is now the queen of daytime talk. Oprah Winfrey is no longer there, and she is the biggest. And for them to select the British Virgin Islands, sweeps is the month in which they set their targets for their prices for the next couple of months. And I know we were not the only one making proposals. But what has come about is this is another collaborative effort. Miss Wendy Williams will come to the British Virgin Islands early in October and tape a series of her travels through the BVI. And for a period of a month, she will be using clues, and she will be talking about the BVI. We'll be getting, at different times, 4 minutes of national television time. The commercial on the Wendy Williams show is $50,000 or 30 seconds, and we're not paying that. The BVI and its partners, meaning hotels, airlines, will be providing trips to the winners of this watch and win promotion. We don't have the inside details because, of course, it has to be kept secret in how they're going to do it. But one thing is for sure, people will be watching, they will be on the internet, they will be doing whatever they have to win a trip to the British Virgin Islands.
Can I win a trip?
You done here. But yes, with pay. This is, I don't know, the only other place that I could think about was when Miss Universe was in the Bahamas, and that was for one time. We will be on national television. Wendy Williams is on, I think, 10 different channels and networks throughout the U.S., some Europe. She has an audience of 50 to 100 million viewers, and they will be hearing the name, the British Virgin Islands. Unprecedented. You cannot, if you can bring me someone else that is doing this or getting near it, I'll bite my finger off because it's unprecedented. And the thing is, the CEO of Delmar is the owner of most of the game shows that you see and Wendy Williams. They are excited because they are going up against Ellen to be the top show. And they feel that with this promotion with the BVI, they will have a 25% jump because it is so different, so unique, and people think so well of the BVI. And I just want to say to all of you, don't take this lightly. This is going to put brand BVI in a place that you couldn't even imagine. And now the work will begin to sell, to bring, to keep us going for the next 20 years. I want to thank you all so much. There is more. We have our different promotions going for the winemakers. We have Condé Nast. We are getting ready to go to the Monaco Boat Show because we have a huge dock that's got to be filled in North Sound, and that is the place to be. The dance partner from Wendy Williams, that's how this all started, Tony. When she was on Dancing with the Stars, he'll be here on Scrub Island in January, vacationing. We are working very hard to take this country to a unique level, brand BVI, brand paradise. And today I am so proud to be able to say that all of this is going to go on between a 3 and 6 month period, that the BVI's name will be in the largest market in the world constantly, unprecedented. I just want to say thank you all. We'll take some questions, but especially to the Jacksons, I did take advantage of their vacation. They're here on the beach, but being on the board, and I must say that particularly Debbie Jackson, when we proposed being the title sponsor, they looked at us like, no. But she fought for us and said it would be a good thing, it would be different, and it's worked out. So ladies and gentlemen, the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board is hard at work, and what it is doing, no single person can do, no single event, no single hotel. All of the properties are excited that we are taking the lead in such a manner that everyone can benefit, no matter what size the property. The BVI brand paradise is truly nature's little secret that we're going to let the world know how good we really are. Thank you.
We'll now entertain questions.
Gary Elias, a standpoint. Sir, on the Circle of Love investment, Circle of Sisters, investment, you said it was equivalent to that of a full-page New York Times page. For those of us that don't know the rates, could you tell us what that is? On the Tempo initiative, how confident or how soon do you expect tangible rewards? Because admittedly, this is a television station that's now looking to tap into the U.S. market.
No, you misunderstand. They're not tapping in. They're
Well,
going
they're about to
Cablevision.
launch.
Cablevision is the 5th largest cable network in the United States, and they're putting them on their system.
Okay, let me rephrase they're now going to be in that system,
Right.
that market.
Mm.
They still have to sell themselves properly. for
No,
that market.
no.
Okay.
They are sold because Cablevision would not put them on. Cablevision is using Tempo to bring back Dish Network viewers. They are highlighting Tempo to bring more business.
Fair enough. How soon do you expect the tangible results? And at the previous press conference, you had mentioned that the BVI Tourist Board is going to look outside of the traditional tourist markets to market the BVI. Could you say what happened to that?
Well, you obviously didn't hear what I just said, because what I'm doing is not traditional. What we're doing right now is not traditional.
This is like Asia.
Yeah, but no, but that's marketing. That's, I mentioned, yes, we are in other places, but the method in which we are doing it, all of these programs that we're talking about are circulated around the world. The British Virgin Islands Tourist Board, first of all, when I say a page in the New York Times, the New York Times page is about $65,000 to $85,000 for one page, one time. We are going to be involved in a program for 3 months to millions and millions of people for much less than that. We are below our budget. We are not spending more than our budget. We have not gone and asked for any more money. We are using what we have to the greatest advantage. If you talk about us going to other markets, Lynette just came back from Virtuoso, where she's dealing with Australia. We were in India already. We're starting to bring the Indian market. We already started feeling out the Chinese market. We are spreading ourselves totally around the world. The new marketing is internet. All these programs that we're talking about are on the internet. We are just reinforcing the name British Virgin Islands, but we have our base marketing programs in Europe, Asia, India. We're going to Morocco. We're going into because we're now into mega yachts. So we are building on top of it, and when the brand is known, then it's easier to sell. So that is what we're doing.
Zano is Bvitb Radio. Mr. Blyden, from what is said in some quarters, people may get the impression that tourism is not alive in the Virgin Islands. In light of what is said as regards to dropping cruise ship arrivals, the amount of money being put into the marketing and promotion of tourism, now we get that feeling. What would you say to such persons who have been claiming that tourism seems to be alive and well? And would you say tourism is alive and well in the Virgin Islands?
Tourism is growing, and tourism did not fall as many did in many countries. I think the people who are making these assumptions don't know tourism. They need to see that Peter Island's 40% up. They need to see that Maria's is building, so there'll be 76 rooms. A bank does not give you money to build unless they see the projections that there is going to be business. They need to see the dive sector, how it is increasing strongly. They need to see the whole picture of tourism. Right now, a lot of places have closed down. We have not closed the facility. People may be on vacation, but no business in the British Virgin Islands has shut down totally as it has in other places. So to people who are saying that, these people that we are doing business with, particularly the Wendy Williams show, does not need the British Virgin Islands. They see an opportunity for us to work together. That is why they're doing this. This is not any handout from anybody. This is a lot of work to convince people that we can do it together. And when they talked yesterday in the conference call, 3 of the people said, oh yeah, we come to the BVI, we know the BVI. And those were the people that were influential in saying, yes, let's use the BVI. They could have used other places for this. But they looked at it, and if it was not alive and well, they wouldn't be there too.
I'm still with Bvitb. You said that all three of these marketing projects are done through collaboration. Can you say what percentage in a figurative value is the BVI actually contributing to all of this?
When you say percentage in terms of what, our budget?
Exactly. Is it costing the BVI? You said it's on the budget. We're paying less than a full page one-day ad in Times and so on and so on. But no one has said exactly how much the BVI is spending in terms of cash-wise for all of this.
Well, most of this is in cash. A lot of this is trade. In terms of the vacations, they're being given by the hotels for promotion. The airlines, they want to see their airline name on the Wendy Williams show. The worth of some of these things, the Wendy Williams show promotion is in the millions. We're not going to spend even, $100,000. I said we're not going to. That is not any money in tourism.
Overall, or just the Wendy Williams?
No, I am saying in general that every promotion, the temple promotion, that's not, we can't even consider that a payment. That is a co-promotion. They get a program that they get to sell the program, and we get our destination seen. So it is just a trade. You see? You have to be able to put it in context. Not everything, if you know how to market, is about how much you spend and how much you pay. It is how you organize it and sell what you have.
So it would be safe to say that the BVI will be spending less than $100,000 overall for all three ventures?
No, it's not safe to say that. That's you saying that. I am not quoting a figure. That's you saying that.
Can you clarify?
No, I'm not going to clarify for you. I'm going to tell you that the BVI is below budget on its marketing and is doing much more than its marketing dollar can do.
You made a statement early on, Mr. President, when I just started, when it said in terms of having a 6 months marketing plan to bring back the name brand BVI. The BVI had lost it.
Well, as you know, well, go ahead, finish.
The BVI had lost it. And what made you think the BVI lost it? Now you think you should bring it back?
The BVI hadn't, because of things that I don't know about, because I was not involved, hadn't marketed in 2 years? 3 years they hadn't bought an ad or market the country, only consistently. The marketing programs that existed when I was chairman 95 to 2000 no longer existed because of whatever reasons. When people don't hear your name, they don't see you. When you don't drive by me like you normally do and I see the sticker on your car, I don't know you're around. So what had happened is you started to see a drop-off in people inquiring. Now, hotels had their own marketing systems and they were marketing their properties. But those who couldn't suffered. And we did lose a section of the market. People did not come. They didn't hear the name, so they did not respond. You have to be in front of them. And that is what we're doing now. We're putting an aggressive campaign to put the name British Virgin Islands back on the tongues and ears, and in more tongues and ears than ever before.
So you think that in light of what you said, in terms of promoting and marketing tourism in the Virgin Islands in the past, the marketing and promotion was not aggressive enough that you're not making up on that?
Well, I'll let the director answer that. She was there.
I think in terms of marketing, we have some misconceptions about tourism marketing. All marketing, in order to be effective, has to be consistent. You have to be consistently in front of the consumer. The BVI's market has been consistently the same group of people for several decades. So people basically come back year after year after year. There are people who vacation in the BVI 3 times a year, every single year. What happened was when we withdrew our marketing because of funding and other reasons, we stopped hitting new people. So basically the same people that had been coming all along and the same reach we had, basically that's all we had. That was able to maintain us through an economic crisis, through airlift crisis, and let me be very clear, we're very grateful to that, because people who were putting millions and millions and millions of dollars into their marketing efforts suffered at a period when we were able to hold our own and we were not marketing. What has happened is what we've realized, and this is something that happened to Bermuda, is they woke up one day and the people who had been coming over and over and over again were not there anymore. And so now they are having realized we lost our market fully, they realized we have to go and look for new people. When I came back to the BVI from London, that is one of the first things I looked at. Where are the people who are going to be coming in 5 years? Where are they and how do we reach them? What we have been doing is basically tagging on to new markets, age groups, because that is very key. Age groups that we had not targeted before, we are now targeting. In terms of China, Latin America, the emerging markets, we would not be doing promotions like this there because we don't need to. To have an impact in China, you just need to be touching the tour operators who sell to the clients you want to reach. It's very cost effective. What I look at our marketing efforts in the emerging markets as is our retirement plan. You put 5% of your marketing budget towards that because you're basically building a base of people, of large numbers of people who will be coming 10 to 20 years from now. So you'll just see consistent numbers growing, but you put a minimal number. Always keep in mind where your bread today is going to come from. 70% of our market is North America. So that's our bread today and probably our bread tomorrow and our bread next month. We have to make sure that that market is fed and that that market continues to grow in terms of the different age groups. We have to keep marketing to younger people, to the younger people who are now who have started their own business, who are now established, who basically are taking their kids on holiday, to the people who came here with their parents when they were young, make sure we're reaching back to them. There's so many. The other thing that we have to understand also is that marketing today is not geographical. So an ad that we put in a US magazine can be seen in Thailand because the magazine is sold there. The US company that we work with has a website that is seen in Antarctica. So you have to understand also marketing is not geographical, it's where you are placed. It's the brand that you associate yourself with. And that's what we're doing now. If we came and presented to you everything that was going to happen in the next 6 months, you all would not be able to make it to HLSCC. You all probably would not leave here before midnight. We are going to try to get all the information out to you, but what we're showcasing for you today is basically the biggest, the most noise-making. You have to be able to make noise to get attention. You have to be able to say, brand BVI is back. We're back in a major way. In the UK, we will also be doing similar events, have similar opportunities, and that information will be provided for you all. So make no mistake, what's happening right now is basically you layer it, and you have your basic shows, you have your marketing, you have your advertising, and we basically layer it. This here is the big bang for the buck. This here lets everybody in the industry know BVI is here in a major, major way, and we will be here for decades to come. So what you see here is going to bring bookings for the coming season, but it's also going to have bookings for residual after that. Because the point is that once people know your brand, you just keep layering the message on after that. And so once these events, and the great thing about this is you have a TV commercial, you advertise, it's gone. You have a reality series, people are talking about it at the water cooler, people are remembering it 2-3 years from now because of what you're doing then. So it's not just a matter of we're doing a reality show. We're basically entering a whole new way of marketing. And I think that's the message today. Brand BVI is entering the market on a whole different level.
Well, one thing I do have to say, and I think the director was very clear, is that, and maybe we didn't make it very clear, all of these companies that we are doing these promotions with, they're all the hottest new organizations. Wendy Williams' show has the largest market of people 45, particularly women with a high income. All of these are the future travelers. All of these people, every one of these promotions, Circular Sisters is families that come. Circular Sisters on the Sunday when Bishop Hezekiah Walker does a church service, one of the biggest in the world, with Donna McClurkland and all. You have a large set of particularly women whose children are out of school, who are looking to vacation, who are looking places to go, things to do. Every one of these things we have set up has been done strategically and has been done with a conscious mindset to set up the BVI for the next 20 years. It is not just to be on today. American Airlines said the Wendy Williams show has the largest new audience, that they have set up a website just for that audience, because they're the people that are going to be flying for the next 20 years. And that's why we're in each of these places, because they are going to set us up to keep going. Thank you.
Madam Director, you outlined in terms of a number from the time you took office, right, as Director of the Tourist Board, and in terms of what you had to work with, but you were grateful. But the question is, were you satisfied that what you had to work with, you were able to create that impact to which we're talking about, having an impact, number one, and the sort of marketing and promotion that has been undertaken now, would you say is one of the most, first of all, are you satisfied with that? And is it one of the most aggressive and stronger marketing plan you've ever seen since you have been the Tourist Board, and one to which you are satisfied with?
Zan, I don't believe in professional satisfaction. I believe in personal satisfaction. As a person, I am satisfied. As a professional, I am never satisfied. We can always be doing more, and we can always be doing better. And if the government chooses to give us $5 million more for marketing, I can tell you we will use it. We will blow BVI even more so. I have to say, though, that what we are given now, we consider to be quite adequate and appropriate to the level of the destination. And I think that's something universally in the BVI. We agreed that the BVI Tourist Board needed more to market with, because the level of the product we market and we have to also develop. It's not just marketing. We have training, infrastructural assistance, all of those things we have to develop. So the level of budget that we're receiving now, I think, is appropriate to the level of destination. But would we ever say that we couldn't do more? No, you can't say that, because even now as we're announcing this, we have to be thinking, what do we do to back this up? What are we going to be bringing through January, February, March, April next year? How are we ensuring that hotels and charter boats are full in August? Those are the questions that we have to be looking ahead to. So, satisfied? No. Do we think it's adequate? Yes.
I must say that was a very politically correct answer. But, you know, Zan, we just want to say that the approach, as Mr. Morton said, that the BVI is now using is cutting edge. It is, you will see everybody following the things that we're doing. I mean, one of the things that with the Wendy Williams show is they said, listen, if we're going to do this with you, then you have to give us 6 months that you don't do this with somebody else. And in exchange, we agree the same way. Because it's so new and so different that everybody wants to have a second shot. And we don't mind a second shot. But we are trying to take what we have and do the best we can with it and be as creative as we can and to be as frugal as we can with what we have. And that is what we've been trying to do. And I think when you look at what we've done, there is not too much to compare with.
It's Ngogo again from the BVI Beacon newspaper. I don't know if the director or the chairman can help me with this, but how progressive or successful was this season, the tourist season that just ended? How was it?
Well, the preliminary numbers from DPU is we've been up 4% up through July. The most successful sectors were the charter boat sector, which had an overall increase of probably 157 more bookings on a weekly basis over last year. Keep in mind we're still in a recession. When I travel, that is the message I'm getting. People are still cautious about spend, but there's a lot more optimism in the market. And people are still spending. Every time I go to a big city, I have to make a reservation in a restaurant because people are still eating out, people are still spending. The upper classes of the airlines are full, the economy classes are empty. You can't get a business class seat, but you can always get an economy seat. That's a sign that the BVI is still well poised because we are niche and we are aggressively marketing to luxury and to all the different niches, dive, sailing, weddings and honeymoons. Those niches are doing very well. So the numbers, I like 25% increases, and that's the kind of numbers that I like, but I know that's not even possible, especially while we're looking at airlift and getting people in here. But the point is we are up. Because we have just begun, I would say re-begun our marketing push, I would say this season coming is the one to watch. I have spoken to a number of economists who follow the BVI's economy, and the number one message they say to me is that the more you invest in marketing, you see the comparable increase in the numbers. And I know I'm seeing that coming through the airport. I'm seeing many hoteliers are saying to us, what are you all doing? Whatever it is, keep doing it. But the message I have now is that on the product side, we have a lot of work to do. Because once people start coming and the message is out there and people are talking about BVI, when they land here, the experience has to be what we're promising. It is our job to basically invite the world here. It is all of us, all of our jobs to make sure when the world comes, they have a great time. And that's not a tourist board job, that's a BVI job. That's not just the tourism industry, that's everybody in the BVI. And I hope that our media houses here will stress that message, that it's not just enough for us to bring them, they have to have a fabulous time, because that is what Brand Paradise is about.
Anika, Voice of Virgin Islands News Online. the BVI, they say that sometimes we have off-peak season, and congratulations on all the initiatives that the Tourist Bureau is doing right now. But for next year, do you, Mr. Biden or Mr. Hadassah Ward, do you think that the BVI will see an off-season, or you'll continue, the Tourist Board will continue to push so that the BVI could be at peak season year-long?
Well, that's the reason why we're doing this. So we can start having an all-year-round season.
What are some of the plans you have for next?
Well, in terms of, first of all, we have to capitalize on what we're doing now. Because when we start getting the results from these various productions, we have to follow up on them. Remember, we are now going to, when we come out of Circle of Sisters, we're going to have a whole new database of, 50,000 or more prospective clients, and we have to start working them. And when the 800 number goes up on Wendy Williams and we start getting calls, we have to work them. And working them all through the year is going to be the key now. Making the noise, creating, leveraging, taking a dollar and getting $10 out of it. That's what we're trying to do in terms of these kind of deals that we're making. But now we have to capitalize because the phones already started ringing. They have already started ringing, and that means you have to continue. I say phones, but you guys know it's the internet. The emails are coming and so forth. So we know that as just looking at this summer, I mean, Peter Island and the diving, and we had several different seasons. We had, in June to August, we had so many young people. A lot of colleges came here on trips. I met this huge group from the University of Tennessee. And that was started a while ago. So that started the curve. The Music Fest in May brought in record numbers of people at a time when it was normally low and the boats were full. So we're continuing to move forward now. And as we go with these promotions, one promotion, if you work it right, can bring you back a spin of several years. That's why the Bahamas did what they did with the Miss Universe. I mean, it was a major thing to do, but they're still working the same market. And that's what we are trying to do, and to take it to an all-year-round situation. The Chinese, Indians, Latin, what's that last one?
Latin America, Italian.
Italians, well, we know that. The Italians come here all the time. And Austria, and that's one of the reasons we're working with Umbria. They're the summer travelers, because they get a month off. I mean, I tried to make a call to Italy the other day on July 25th, and nobody was there to answer the phone. They get a month off. That's just how they live, and they travel India, different places. So what we're trying to do is to set up so we can work with the markets. We can work with the college market. We can work with the housewives. We can work with the business people who can afford to get away in January, February, March. I think this year you're going to see a strong up season. There's a lot of work to be done, and once you get the database, you can work it. Remember, as Ms. Ward said, the BVI had the highest, and still does, repetitive rate of visitors. And now we add more to it, they're going to keep coming. But you have to keep working, and that is what we have done today. I hope you all appreciate the level of work that this is and what it is going to do, and not take it as like, oh, well, what else is there? This is a lot of work, and it's got work behind it, and we're going to do the best we can to take it forward. And right now, if you look and you see, there are people here, and the country is moving, and we're going to move it further. And we thank you so much. Yeah.
One last question, please. Okay, two last questions.
Given the cost effectiveness of this campaign, Mr. Blyden, at the last press conference, I had asked about some of the plans coming. You mentioned some plans that you couldn't talk about at the time. Yes. The question I had asked is, what would you be doing with the $9 million in the coffers?
We don't have 9 million in the coffers. Who told you that? You asked what was the budget before. $9 million was the operating budget of the tourist board, what, two years ago?
For between 9 and 10 for 10 years.
Between 9 and 10 for 10 years, right? This year, we have just gotten an increase, and we are using it in marketing all the ways we're talking about. At the same time, we are conserving it because we're not sure how the rest is coming. That's why we're making cooperative deals. We don't get one sum of money. Maybe you don't understand how the board is funded. That is why the board is seeking to fund itself in certain ways. We get subventions from government when government has the money to give us. It doesn't come 10 million. It doesn't come like that. It may come $250,000 and you don't know when the next one is coming. You have to conserve to pay your bills. You have to arrange it in such a manner. And that is why the Premier has allowed us to do a feasibility study so we can start to look at some sort of brand marketing so we can bring in some income so we know what is coming. A lot of countries are now travel agents. Many countries are now travel agents against their own people to be able to put money in. Because when you are not a income generating source, you have to wait till you can get the money. You don't get it unless it's there. So we don't get funded like that. So we have to be very sparing when we make our decisions and our deals. So right now, it ain't 9 million there.
I understand that the budget does not mean cash in hand, but at the last press conference, you said the tourist board budget was $15 million, 6 of which was spent.
And we have not gotten the other 9, if that's what you're looking for. No, it doesn't come like that. We probably got, what, another 2? We have our bills to pay. We have to look into the start of next year. It does not come like that. So we have to be frugal. We actually look at March next year to make sure that we have cash flow. Okay?
Last question.
Yes, Mr. Barrett, last question.
Yeah, Walter Barrett, JTB. Oh, you know me? All right. I just want to know, there are some concerns from the residents regarding issues of infrastructure, the issue of sewage, raw sewage, the condition of the roads, things like that. I'm just wondering, how is this affecting the tourist board and some of the initiatives that you're talking about here? What are your concerns regarding this, and how are you getting help to have this taken care of in time?
Your question recalls me to the first time, one of the first things I did as acting director back in 2008. I went to speak to a group of small properties, and the first question I was asked was, my electricity bill is over $1,000, and I want to know what you gonna do about that. And I looked at them and I said, but you just let the chairperson of the Electricity Corporation sit down and the premier, and you bring it to me, acting director of tourism. And that typically is how it is at the tourist board. Everything that affects the community, service, infrastructure, or lack thereof, they call us because they figure it's going to affect a tourist and we should say something or do something. We don't have the teeth. And believe me, if we had the teeth, maybe we'd clean up a little more faster, but we don't have the teeth to enforce. What we do is negotiate, nag, and that is what we are continuing to doing. We're very proud that we've just brought in a new product infrastructural officer who is going to be monitoring a lot more so that people won't have to call. He will be out there taking pictures, getting all the evidence together, getting quotes together so that we can assist agencies in being more proactive and not reactive. It's a tough job, though. It's difficult that our season begins right after hurricane season ends. And so you can see the kind of balance you have to, not just for the tourists. And I always say this, BVI is not for a tourist. It is for the people who live, work, and love the BVI. The tourists who come can enjoy it as well, and it is as much for them as it is for us. But if we clean up the BVI, it is for the people who live here and pay taxes to pay for the infrastructure. So our role really is to nag, to negotiate, and just remind people what we are out there marketing and what the promise should be to the people who live here and to the people who are coming. Beyond that, it's a bit tough. But if they give me some more teeth, yeah, we'll get the job done.
Well, I think that was the last question. And we want to, of course, thank you for being here with us today. As the chairman and Ms. Ward said, there's lots more going on in our marketing and public relations, but we'll be here all night. So we will have continuously update for you, and you know our numbers. You can always call us, and if you have any questions or anything. And again, thank you everyone for being here.